What's up everyone? This video will be a little bit different from what I usually do. Instead of fixing things, I'm going to tell you a story. Once upon a time, I decided I wanted a scooter for transportation to work. I didn't really know anything about scooters other than when I was in high school, my little sister had a Honda Elite 50. It was really fun and cost less than $1 to ride it around all day. I went to the scooter shop by the university and bought a Gorilla Motorworks 150cc scooter. Gorillas are tough, so this scooter would be reliable. Chinese scooter brand names don't actually mean anything, but they're pretty funny. This place did scooter rentals, and my thoughts were if these scooters can survive college students beating them up, then perhaps they're reliable. My GMW scooter was originally priced at $1,600, but I picked it up on sale for $1,000 cash. Seemed legit. After a month of riding, I noticed that it hesitated a bit at 20 miles an hour. I brought it to the shop, they did nothing and said it was better. Being a mechanic myself, I decided to figure it out. Basically, the carburetor tuning was a little off. They just buy these scooters from China and don't adjust anything for the specific conditions where you live. After 2 months, the scooter randomly shut off while riding because the side stand safety switch was bad. After 3 months, the exhaust fell off. After 4 months, the headlight burned out. I had various other problems, like most bolts would strip out if I barely touched them, the mirrors kept getting loose, and the front wheel almost fell off while riding. Basically, it was a constant battle trying to put this scooter back together. I actually had the scooter for 4 years, and I finally got rid of it when I realized the constant repairs were costing me more than owning a car. So the GMW 150 is a piece of shit. Waste of $1,000. My next scooter was a Raketa Sicily 150. I got this one used for $200. It didn't run because the stator was bad. I had a lot of trouble fixing it because the new stators were all wired wrong. I finally got this scooter to run, but it wasn't good. The scooter was actually very fast, but the brakes didn't work very well, and the front suspension would do this thing where it was very stiff, then would suddenly dive down when you hit a big bump. It's kind of the opposite of what suspension is supposed to do. The handling on this scooter was very bad, and it felt unstable. It's definitely not safe. After spending $250 on parts and way too much time working on it, I sold the scooter for $600. I felt pretty bad, kind of like I cheated that person. There are a lot of scooters out there with this body style with different names. I recommend staying away from this one. It's a piece of shit. There's another style of Chinese scooter that is a bit lower and longer. I picked this guy up for $250 and it ran great. The guy who sold it to me had just spent twice that much on repairs at the scooter shop. This one is called the Piaggio, and it even had an eagle on the front fender. The handling and brakes are great, and it was much more stable than my previous scooter. I liked this one, but one day a bolt randomly fell out of the front fork, and it would get this nasty speed wobble in the front wheel. I fixed that, but then later the rear shock snapped in half when I hit a pothole in the road. This one was one of my better scooters, but it's still a death trap. After all the Chinese scooter nonsense, I decided to get a brand new, high-quality scooter. I picked up a 2018 Piaggio Liberty 150 from Vespa Salt Lake and paid almost $4,000 with taxes and fees. This scooter had bigger wheels and rode really smooth. I thought I had the perfect scooter. This one worked for 5 months, then stopped charging the battery. I brought it back to Vespa Salt Lake for warranty repairs. Unfortunately, this dealer is full of idiots and they couldn't fix it. My Piaggio has been broken for 6 months, and now I need to sue Piaggio to get my money back. Piece of shit. Stay away from this one too. Finally, I found a scooter that is relatively good. I picked up this E-Ton Sport 50 from a guy for $100. He didn't have the title and he needed some carburetor work and a battery. After dealing with DMV paperwork for 3 months and doing some repairs, I finally got it to where I could legally use the scooter. This scooter is dangerously slow because it's a 50cc and I'm constantly watching my mirror so I don't get run over. However, it hasn't given me a single problem. The bolts don't strip out, the wheels aren't falling off, and this might just be the best scooter I've ever owned. E-Ton is made by Sim, which is a Taiwanese company. It's still made in China, but they are much better quality than Chinese scooters. Here are a few lessons that I learned. First, buying new is a scam. I've been screwed over 100% of the time when I did that. Most Chinese scooters are horrible quality and constantly need repairs. If you want a cheap scooter, buy one made by Sim Scooters. The mileage on a used scooter can also indicate the quality. If you're buying one with 800 miles on it and it's 10 years old, it was probably broken most of that time. If the scooter has 5,000 miles, it must have been pretty good to survive that long. Japanese scooters like Honda and Yamaha are always a safe bet, but they will cost you 3 times as much. One of my friends has a Ruckus, he's never had a problem. Avoid Italian scooters unless you have a competent dealer nearby. Even so, for some reason Vespa hasn't figured out in the 100 years that they've been selling scooters here in the United States that they should maybe have a warehouse with parts here. Anytime you need something, you need to wait at least a month and a half for parts to come from Italy. If you want a decent scooter that isn't too expensive, Taiwanese scooters like Sim and Kimco are pretty good. Lance scooters made by Sim seem really nice too. Check out Ramen on Wheels. She knows all about it.